Well, welcome to this episode of Out of Bounds. This is a special one. Rocco Mediate. You're going to love this for the next 30 minutes. If you love golf or you want to know how to become a professional golfer, Rocco Mediate from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, who went toe-to-toe with Tiger Woods in the 2008 U.S. Open in an 18-hole Monday playoff down there at Torrey Pines, how he became a professional golfer as a teenager, which is fascinating, his relationship with Arnold Palmer, and he is a 6-time PGA Tour winner and 5 times on the Champions Tour. All right, so here we are, Rocco Mediate. Man, first of all, I love the name Rocco.
Yeah, it's my grandfather was named Rocco.
Really?
So that's what I was named after, yes. I never met him because he died when my dad was 16.
So it's been, did they call you The Rock? Did they call you Rock? I mean, or no, as a kid?
Yeah, my mom called me Rocky all the time. Pretty funny.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Rocky, Rocco. Probably some bad names in there too, but we won't go there.
So, okay, so before we get in all what you've done in your career of golf, how do you start golf? How did you even say, I want to play golf?
Well, I played baseball when I was younger, and I was a reasonable baseball player. I could throw pretty good. My dad was a minor league pitcher for the Pirates for a while. Then he had to quit to take care of his mom because his dad, all that stuff. And I was never going to be like a professional. I loved baseball though. And I wanted to, I was a pitcher like my dad, wanted to be a big, great. Clemente was my guy, Pittsburgh guy. And then all my buddies, I wasn't quite good enough to make the high school team when I was 15-ish. And all my buddies went and started playing golf. I went with them. Who knew?
Okay, so all right, this is interesting. So you go start playing with your buddies. Were you good?
No. Oh no, heck no. I hated golf.
You
hated it. Oh, my dad. Well, we lived a mile, and not even a mile. What am I talking about? 500, 600 yards from Hannistown Golf Club, which was a 9-hole place. Now it's 18. I still go back and play every year. And I'd go caddy for him, and we lived so close. After like 3 holes, I'm like, Dad, I'm not doing this. And I walk home. Get your ass out of here. Quit complaining. Send me home. I go home, and he'd take me out to hit some, but I didn't really start playing until I was 15.
So did you get lessons to get to? I mean, you had to get good eventually.
Well, I got lessons from my first teacher was basically Bill Silvis, who was the pro at Hannistown. But then I went to see Jim Ferree in 1980 at Westmoreland Country Club up in where I'm from. Jim played the tour, and he was he's about to start the Champions Tour, the PGA Tour, the Seniors Tour was called back then, which it should be still called, as we talked about now. And he started teaching me. That's when I became better, quicker. I wouldn't say good. I say better, quicker.
So how?
And then
go ahead.
I was 16 when I got my first that was my 16th birthday present. Was lesson with Jim. It was $50 an hour, which was expensive back then.
Yeah.
And my dad said, first thing Jim said to my dad was, "You sure you want to spend the money to teach this boy to play golf?" Because yeah, go ahead. And then he started. Because I really didn't look like I could do anything. But then I was always able to hit a ball with a stick.
Well, baseball,
See, so I was a good hitter in baseball. At least I thought I was. Lots of line drives. And then I took up golf and became, a fairly good hitter, because of Jim's guidance. And then Rick Smith took over when I was in college, and here we are.
So
40 years.
So do you remember, like, your first tournament? And then do you remember when you broke par then? Because this is just fascinating. You started at 15 and became the success that you became.
Yeah, I started when I was 15. I had a tour card at 21.
That's unbelievable. So the gifted natural athlete, though.
Yeah, but I was if anybody from my home club, my hometown, my family, my closest friends would have went, yeah, he's wasting his time. Because they were been right. But it's like I loved it so much. I just practiced. That's all I did. I didn't do anything else in high school, but started hitting golf balls in 11th grade, 10th and 11th grade. I was, 15. And then Jim, I go see Jim. Now I went up to like twice a week. My dad's like, good Lord. And then Jim was great about it. We went and played all the time, 9 holes, a couple times a week. I learned a lot from him. But he was the best striker I had ever seen, and still one of them I've ever seen. Still.
Wow.
And he's gone now, but this guy Jim hit it so good. And I wanted to be him. I wanted to be that guy. And I became a fairly good striker over my career. And that's why it lasted so long, because I could hit it from point A to point B.
So you get your PGA Tour card at 21.
21. At my first event, I
Yeah.
was 22. In
What was
Pebble
that?
Beach.
That was Pebble Beach?
That was Pebble Beach. Yep.
What do you remember of that?
Well, I got off the airplane at Monterey there, and had my little. They gave you like this little vinyl briefcase with PGA Tour. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a PGA Tour star now. I'm the greatest player in the world. I got a tour card. I'm the greatest. I got my little bag. I walk off the plane and go down to the. We used to register at the polo fields, if you probably remember.
Yep.
Now it's a pretty range, but I go down and I said to my caddy, I said, "All right, Al, I'm gonna take a walk along the range for a while, you know, for like a half hour, and I want to see my idols. You know, I hadn't been, you know, Watson's there, Trevino, they're all there. Nicholas, Norman, Watkins, they're all there. So I don't know what time it was, probably 9, 8 in the morning. So I go start watching these guys hit balls. And as I'm walking by each and every one of them, I'd say to myself, can't do that. Walk down the line. Definitely can't do that. I never came to a guy that I could do what he was doing with a golf ball. Never. Yet I had a tour card. So about an hour and a half pass, and I go out to Al, who's like, where the hell? And I said, I need to make a phone call real quick. I'll be right back. So I go inside and I call Rick Smith. And he goes, hey, buddy, how you doing? Your first event? I went, yeah, I have no chance. We have to start over now. I hadn't hit a shot. I said, I got to change the golf swing now. I want it to go right to left. I don't like this crap anymore. We're changing now. Well, we couldn't change now. He wasn't there. See, so
Right.
I make the cut.
Wow.
Okay. I sit up in the scoring area because I finished early on Saturday because it's a 3-day cut. I finished early on Saturday. I sit in the scoring area for like 3 hours watching the scores come in going, okay, still in. You know, and I made it on the number, and then they canceled the final round because of the weather. That's the year fuzzy one in 86.
Okay.
But anyway, I made that cut, didn't make another one until May. That was January.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then we started working in that time and changed the ball flight, changed all this, high draws. I made the last 7 cuts in a row. Knew I'd lose my card, so I didn't care. Got it back, finished 3rd in the qualifying school in 87. That's the last time I ever went.
How about that?
So, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I hadn't hit a shot, and I'm like, I have no chance.
I love it.
Zero
You're getting
chance.
there with all these legendary guys, right? And you're going.
I mean, I always say I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. I'm looking going, I can't do anything they're doing. And I hadn't even seen them putt and chip yet. I'm just watching them hit balls. You go stand there and watch Trevino and Watson hit balls, you're not going to feel good about yourself after a while. So the pressure was off.
Oh, right,
See,
yeah.
Because if I go out there and don't change anything, I'm certainly not talking to you right now. I wouldn't have made it.
You wouldn't have made it.
No chance. I mean, I can guarantee that would never have happened.
So once you make the change, then it just starts. Everything starts clicking.
Well, we started making it. It
Right.
took forever. It's
Yep.
like, oh my God, I missed like all the cuts. And then I made it in May. Oh, how about this one? So I make my second cut in May at the Canadian Open.
Okay.
A lot of wonderful memories in Toronto. But I make it, and I get paired with, on Saturday, Norman, who was, by the way, the #1 ranked player in the world. So I'm excited. You know, I'm nervous, but I'm like, I can't wait to see this. Okay, so I go out. I'm ready. I'm going to go play. I'm starting to play better, but I still stink, right?
Yep.
I shoot 72. Pretty excited. He beat me by 10. He shot 62. I went,
Wow.
very interesting, because I didn't see that. And I made that cut. I don't know when I made the next one, but I started to keep getting better. Even the missed cuts were like, okay, all right, do this a little bit better, maybe a few more putts. And then the last 7 I made, and then finished 3rd in the tour school, and that was the end of that.
What do you think is different today's game versus then when you started? What's the biggest?
Everything.
I mean, everything?
Well, everything is different except one thing, the most important thing, and you would not even believe this. So if you think about the distances gained, these kids hit it, and it's not because of all because of equipment. It's because they're stronger and faster. They learn to move the club differently than we did. I think it's great. But one thing that shocked me was, and on the radio show I do, I asked my producer Mike. I said, Mikey, find me the scoring average from 1987, and then find it from 2000. This was in 24. I asked him 2024. Now, the average driving distance is 40 yards longer than it was in 87.
Okay, I believe.
40.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Wouldn't you think the scoring average would be 3 or 4 or 5 shots different? You would think,
yes,
okay,
you would think.
two or three, right?
Yes, but I think I know where you're going with this. But keep going.
It's basically a shot.
Yep, that's
One
it.
shot different.
So
So what has changed? Nothing.
Nothing, but because the putting was just as good then as it is now. It's putting.
Yeah, and the short game.
Short
It's
game.
all about. It's all. I preach it all the time on Insta, whatever. Scheffler will say he's the #1 ranked player in the world, obviously, and he's the best hitter of the ball, stat-wise, in the world in the last 4 years. Okay, averages. Let's just say this: between 13 and 14 greens a day. Okay, let's give him 14 a day for the rest of his career. Just give it to him. He's missing 16 greens a week. How's he beating anybody?
His short
Oh,
game.
wait, I know. He drives are good. No. His forearms are fantastic. No. But inside 120 yards, he will hand you your ass. He's the best. And he's learned to putt better.
The best putter, not only today, but somebody that you played with in yesteryear. Would be, is that why Longer has been so good? He's a great putter?
He's a great putter, but he's also great around the greens. Has to be.
Yes.
All the great ones are great around. You have to be. So it's like that's where it's all at. It doesn't really matter. So I got also stuff when I said it on the radio show. They said, "Well, Rock, hold on a second. Now you guys didn't play 500-yard par fours." I'm like, "No, we didn't. But they're hitting 8 and 9 irons to them. Those are scoring clubs, okay? So now a 500-yard par 5 in college was you could get a 3-wood to it on your second shot.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
so true. Back then, that was a long par 5, by the way, 500 yards. Yes.
And a 450-yard par 4 was a driver 3 or 4 iron.
Yep.
Period. It's not a sand wedge. So that just tells me that maybe they're not as efficient from 150 yards in as they should be, because that's where they live. That's where they live.
That's what.
So
yeah.
I mean, if you give Trevino, oh my God, you give a guy like Trevino that distance, he'd win 20 a year.
He would.
20, because he was the best inside 130, 40 yards. So, but these kids are phenomenal. I love the way they play. It's a whole different game. Love it. I'm not the guy going, oh, they couldn't play like we did. Well, yeah, they can. It's just a different game.
Totally.
They don't play like we did because they don't need to.
Yeah, that's fascinating. All right, we're getting Rocco
Yes.
Mediate. Rocky, we call him Rock on Out of Bounds.
Call me whatever you want.
I love that. Coming up right after this, we have to obviously ask him about the 2008 U.S. Open and Mr. Palmer because you grew up in Pennsylvania. That's coming up after this. All right, so here we are, Out of Bounds with Rocco Mediate, the pride of Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Right?
I don't know about that, but I'm from there.
You're from there. All right, so before we get into Mr. Palmer, we talked, me and you, off camera, obviously, when I got the...
Yeah.
Right, we just hit it off. I feel like I could just go play golf with you at Newport Beach at the Hope
we
Classic.
will.
Yeah,
we
one
will.
of these days we're going to have to do that. 2008 created a lot of memories for the golf world. What do you? I mean, you remember everything about that, right? The U.S. Open with Tiger Woods. I mean, very memorable.
Yeah. The funniest questions I get is it okay if we talk about?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's just fine. I mean, because it was so much fun. The only thing I didn't do was get the trophy. I did everything else you could possibly do. It was truly. I can't believe it's been so long ago. I mean, it's what 2008.
18 years.
It's coming up on 20 years. It's ridiculous.
18 years ago.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. I was 45. No, I remember all of it and everything that happened, the smells, the crowd, the people. I mean, it was so loud. I mean, you figure the stands were full at 9 a.m. That's when we teed off on 18. Stands were full at 18 at 9 a.m. We teed off at 9.
Isn't that crazy?
So they had to be either really bored or, So there's 20, 30,000 people watching us two morons trying to kill each other out there. It was hilarious.
And
it was unbelievable.
And that's the tournament that he was hobbling around. Tiger was. And,
yeah.
But like we talked about, you had a chance there to kind of close it out with the putt, right? Was there?
Yeah, I had the about 18-footer straight up the hill, and I just gave it a little too much speed and it missed on the high side left, but. Those are one of those putts where if you do get one, and I had one, and I missed, and then no one talks about, Tiger made about a 4-footer for birdie. I made about a 3.5-footer for par. I missed that par putt. We're done. It's never going to happen again, first of all, because that's the last 18-hole playoff there'll ever be.
Right, exactly.
They can't, which I think is a huge mistake.
Yep.
I think all majors should be 18 holes. And if you tie, you should go 18 more. That's what they used to do.
They used to do that? They tied and won another 18 more?
But you can't do that. You can't do that because of TV.
No, right.
It's a major championship. But, just that whole week, but getting to do that with him on a Monday, just him and I was, I wish I could do it all the time. But just to show you that, how good that I call him a kid because he's a kid to me, but how good that man was. People have no idea what we were dealing with and what we got the privilege to be around, let alone, he was so much fun to watch play and so much fun to play with. I couldn't wait to tee off with him because I like chaos, see? And he brought chaos. Yeah, all around us was chaos. Doesn't bother me. I love it. Make more noise. I don't care. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we talked about that. You were going toe-to-toe with him in '99, the Phoenix Open, and which you won, right?
Which I won. Thank you very much.
Yeah, see? But you didn't mind. You weren't intimidated. You know how many people were intimidated by him on the golf course? They just get the shakes and they just crumble.
Yeah, I think it's what he brings with him. First is him.
Yep.
That's the first problem. And then everything else around it. People are crazy. There's a zillion people watching. And if you don't like that kind of stuff, you will lose. So not only was he better than everybody else, I mean, by far, all the best players of his era, he was head and shoulders better than they were in every aspect of the game. The entire time he played, no one got close.
No one did.
People hate to hear that. It's true. Sorry. Well, what's wrong with telling the truth? Okay. So I know going into play, I played my best golf with Tiger, period. Okay. I know going into, if we play 10 days in a row, I'm going to lose 9. But what about the other one? I can still beat him here or there.
Right. Yeah.
It could happen. It can happen. So you have to look at it that way. But also the way I look at it is, why would I let him stop me from doing anything?
Yeah.
He can't stop me. I mean, I guess he could push me or something when I'm not looking or whatever, but he can't stop me from performing. Only I can, or the player he's playing with can.
Yeah.
So I always love that because, you're expected to get destroyed, but it's fun to prove people completely wrong. That's the most fun you could ever have in anything.
So
it's to prove.
I mean, the way, he must-watch television, like when he was playing golf at a high level. I mean, it was like ridiculous. I mean, the guy,
it's ridiculous.
He made every putt. Like, if it was an 8-footer, it's in. Like, it was.
He was the best. He just didn't. Can you remember one he missed that mattered? Can you remember? I can't.
I can't. No, he would do that long step and just take it out of the hole.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. And the more intense it became, the better he got.
Yeah.
It was just, and that's what the great ones do, though. Jack was the same way, Watson, Trevino, they were all that way. That's why they were great players.
And Arnold Palmer.
The rest of us are just Mr. Palmer.
And we go to Mr. Palmer, the transition. Yeah, from your relationship with him was like what? I mean, it was amazing.
He was like a second dad, basically. I talked to him whenever I wanted. And we had a lot of arguments. I was never right, of course. Even if it was written in the Bible, I was wrong. He was so funny. He was just tough, and I liked that. He was obviously very, very nice to me, but he was also very tough, and I love that.
What was
you don't do this long, you don't do this enough, you don't practice enough. I'm like, there's no more hours in the day. Yeah, you don't travel enough. I'm like, I got 3 kids. I'm trying to make excuses, and they're good excuses because the kids were obviously important. But he was always tough trying to push, and I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, what was the one thing that you learned from him the most?
How to be. Not very little about golf. He just wanted you to go in there and bear down and just try to kill people and be aggressive. And I love that part. But he taught me how to be with people. It was hard at first. He goes, you look people in the eye. You look them right in the eye. And I'm like, okay. And I can't look, I was shy back then. I obviously changed that. But he goes, and this is what he said one day in the office. He goes, listen, Rock, if there are actually people out there dumb enough to come and watch you play golf, maybe you should give them something for their money. And I'm like, whoa. Back up on the first part. And he goes, I said, what do you mean? He goes, give them a look in the eye. Say hello. What's going on? How are you? Anything. He said, that's all you got to do. Because they're paying to watch you. They're paying to watch all you guys play.
Yep.
Give them something for it. besides the golf. So I learned over the years to do it. Have I done it perfect? No, but I've done it nice. I think he, obviously he's not here now. He's everywhere else but here.
Yep.
I think he would be pleased, but he was always on my side. He was the best. We're from the same place. I grew up 5 miles away from where he grew up. So
I mean, yeah, stories. I mean,
he's something else.
He
Oh my
was.
gosh.
I was around him for those years I worked in Orlando. He's an amazing man. I mean,
Yeah.
And I never, Mr. Palmer. That's what how you.
Yeah, I never called him. I'll say Arnold when I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
But I never called him that. And he actually, he kind of didn't like it, but he liked it because it was respect. But I did do one thing I asked him that still made him mad. So you have to go into Bay Hill, you got to take your hat off.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. I'll do it, okay, obviously. But why? He goes, well, it shows respect. To who? To who? To who? No answer. I said, well, let me ask you another question. Why do the ladies get to wear their hats? Well, that's part of the uniform. I went, this is part of my uniform. Take the damn hat off and stop talking, he'd say. I said, all right, just trying to get an answer. Just trying to get an answer.
That is a great.
We had some fun, yeah.
Back and forth. The ladies have the hats on.
Oh, so why do they get to wear them? What is this? Discrimination?
It's actually kind of funny.
Hard. Oh, I drove him crazy, completely nuts.
So, okay, so out of bounds right now, as we conclude. I could talk to you for hours, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I could. I mean, this is already, we're getting ready to wrap this up. But on Sirius XM,
yes.
what do you offer to golf fans? Like, what do you got when you're on, and what times?
I'm on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. What do I offer? I only know when the clock starts. I have no plan. The only thing I write down is the music I'm going to play between breaks. I have a couple good buddies that do the show with me, but you'll get everything that's going on and stuff you don't even want to hear we don't know. They don't know. And I don't have time or I don't like planning. I just like shooting from the hip.
That's like me. That's what this is.
That's exactly right. I don't have like I said, my book that I have I'll write down Rocco hour just to make sure I don't forget it's my hour. Phone number, but I know it. Stuff like that in case people want to call. But other than that, or I'll have Rory, points I want to make. Rory, whatever, something to talk about. But I don't even need it. I can do it on the run. But I love it. They pay me to talk. Think about it for a second. Same with you. They pay you to talk.
That's it.
Of course, you have to look good because they're watching you. I'm a radio guy.
Right.
Perfect face for the radio.
Rocco.
But it's fun. It's fun.
The Rocco Mediate on Out of Bounds. My final thoughts after this. We could just keep going for hours with Rocco Mediate. What a fascinating man with fascinating stories. How about that? U.S. Open, memory for a lifetime. In the 2008 U.S. Open, 18-hole playoff, and how great Tiger Woods was. I love the way he talked about today's game versus yesterday's game and how he became a professional golfer, which is actually really fascinating. I thank you for joining us on this edition of Out of Bounds on our streaming platform here on KTLA+.